Alright folks, looks like we're not having a race this weekend. What now? So as you might have heard, the Imola Grand Prix, or the Emilia Romagna made in Italy, something or other, is now not going to be taking place. Whether or not it's been fully cancelled or postponed is not really been confirmed as of yet, but in my opinion, it's most likely been cancelled. But what if it isn't? What could possibly happen to try and fit the Imola Grand Prix back into the F1 circuit? But let's just get one thing straight. The fact that it isn't happening this weekend, where a lot of people are in danger and they're basically having to flee their homes, I think that's the right thing for them to do. If the FIA and Formula 1 had waited another day to actually announce this, then I think they would have been in a lot of trouble. If they'd carried on, even without fans, and they just ran the race, then most likely it would have just been left in the garage like we got in Spa 2021, and people would have been absolutely furious. People would have just been standing around for hours waiting for something to happen, which ultimately wouldn't happen. This is absolutely the best thing to do, because there is a river right next to the track, and there's only one little steel barrier between that and the track. And already, practically half the river's already in the track because there are trucks submerged in the thing. What was going to happen? Would they really run cars that are worth millions of dollars around like boats? Well, I mean, mind you, the McLaren this year is a bit of a boat, so hey, this might have been the chance for them to win a race. But jokes all aside, what could actually happen now with the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, or as realistically, it's just the Imola Grand Prix? There are two places where you could put the Imola Grand Prix if you wanted to actually keep it on the calendar. You could put it in after Spain, because there is a nice little gap between Spain and Canada, so therefore you keep it within the European region, or you could put it in after the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, because Milan, San Marino, they're not that far away. Slot things in within a week, and then you could still have the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, so therefore the promoters and all that, like, they would still get some return. But I am glad I don't work for an insurance company that works in the Italian region. So yeah, they're gonna have a very busy few days now coming up. And incidentally, I was actually recording my predictions video when the news broke, but I suppose I'll just tell you now. I thought it was gonna be Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Hamilton, and Leclerc. But now we're not gonna really know, because we're going to Monaco next week. Mercedes are not gonna have a good time of it because they won't really have a good place in which to test their upgrades. Monaco needs an entirely different steering rack just to get around the station hairpin. So I get the feeling that they're not going to run all of the upgrades next week, so that's a completely different kettle of fish from Mercedes. But realistically, I don't think there is going to be an Imola Grand Prix this year, because there's just simply not enough room in which to try and slot it back in again. People would be reeling from all of the stuff that happened here. Who's to say that maybe in September, it could be rainy again, and we might have the same thing going down one more time. So it's best to wait until next year, where there could be a little bit more preparations and maybe some more flood defense systems could be installed. More concerned about what's going on with the people around them, and not to mention the cat that lives around Imola. I hope that cat's okay. And besides, if we were going to be losing a circuit from the Formula 1 calendar this year, Imola, yeah, I can cope with it. It's a very nice classic circuit for doing one-shot qualifying and hot lapping, but in terms of an actual race, it's not a very good one, because you got one DRS zone, and if it was going to be rainy, that wouldn't even be working. So in terms of overtakes, they would be practically impossible. The cars are even bigger than 2021. So you're just going to have a procession, maybe some cheeky overtakes going into Tamburello, but that would be it. Just waiting for a car to fall off the track and then see what happens, then maybe some pit stops. But Monaco's not that far away, and we've had a lot of rain interfere with Monaco in the past, so we might get that again. But for now, I'm just glad that everyone can be safe, everyone can just take stock with what they had, the insurers can come in and make sure that everyone gets their refunds, which I hope they do. What do you think of my suggestions, huh? Show me yours.